star system's journeys I've been to. It's kind of like a galactic seminar, but wasn't your typical. Basically, just like landed on Earth and greeted the Lancians, connected, and then started to speak of where we came from. Myself and Isis, yeah. So just started to share our world that we come from.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. This is Starseed EDU. I'm here with my buddy Ivan. How you doing, Ivan?
Oh, great.
Good stuff. And just for anyone who's new to tuning in, I'm the co-founder of Starseed EDU, and we're a company that's looking to expand the consciousness of humanity, and we're doing a couple of events coming up in Coconut Beach. Ivan is one of our speakers with a huge roster of great people. We have Michelle White Dove, Tony Rodriguez, Abby Lynn, the list goes on. So it's going to be a great event, and I will put in the details for the website and all that good stuff. I'm also, as you can see, this is for our Cosmic Crypto channel, so shout out to all our subscribers and our lovely community. Ivan is part of that community, and we're getting him into it today. So today we'll be channeling the blockchain consciousness, thanks to Ivan, and then we'll go into some current spiritual stuff as well with Osiris. So how are you doing, Ivan? Is there anything? How's the energy and consciousness for you, the collective?
A lot of things are shifting. Hopefully, a lot of truths are coming out throughout the week and throughout the next couple of months. So just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah.
Surely there's going to be some big revealings.
I hope so. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's never a good idea. We always talk about, how it's never a great idea to put too much stock in what some people on YouTube or some people get just to be safe and stay neutral in these times. But we know with Uranus and all the astrology, something big is coming, which is going to shift us.
Yeah, ride the wave.
Ride that wave. All right, shall we do it? We'll do the blockchain consciousness first when you're ready, and then we'll go into Osiris.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's. Greetings to you.
Greetings.
We are the crypto currency consciousness. Greetings to you all.
Greetings to you. Thank you for joining us. And I would just like to open up with asking about the energy in the market, just the macro things going on with what you're feeling.
Well, yes, there's a great change in the vibration. We say not to make too many drastic changes in your portfolios this week or the coming weeks. Just go slowly, trust your instincts, because there's going to be some movement throughout the next couple of weeks, a shift in consciousness with crypto vibrations. But if there's certain cryptos you want us to connect to, please.
Yeah, so thank you for that. And I just wanted to talk about Bitcoin dominance for people not familiar with that term. So we've had Bitcoin doing its thing the last few months. It's the talk of the town, especially with BNY Mellon, JP Morgan, all the institutions. Deutsche Bank are coming in as well. They've announced they want to be a custodian. And now we have, to look at the altcoins, our favorite coins, the people's coins. How is that looking for you with breaking away from Bitcoin, the altcoins?
Yes, the people's coins, as you say, is, yes, the more logical place to be. Yes, Bitcoin is the king, but even when kings can be highly manipulated and even aren't themselves to a certain extent. So the offshoots are very healthy. And just, yes, you give them time. They're growing, but they're still, yes, there is a lot of energy. It just people lose confidence because it's not making as much as they'd like to. But as long as you, stay with it for the long term, many will grow where people aren't even thinking growth will occur. So just trust your instincts.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great message that I always talk to my community, that trading and especially when you're doing it from a spiritual side of things. It's a lot to do with flow, your intuition, and using your emotions to harness that as well after doing the research. So just wanted to go into a price prediction. I hate to pin you down, but with Bitcoin, are we looking at we're going past 55,000, or what's the price energy feeling like?
Oh, yes, eventually, yes, but it's being held down by many forces. So definitely throughout this year, but definitely by the end of this year, but throughout the year, yes, it's going to go probably to 60, most likely throughout the year, but they're not saying when of a timeline, but it is 60 is what they're pushing for at this moment.
And how are you seeing these timelines? How are they manifesting to you? Is it feeling? Are you seeing multiple tunnels of time? How does that work?
Well, those corporations basically are there to inflate the numbers, buy low, and raise it. So this will be in the hundreds of thousands eventually, is what they're trying to push it for. But they want to push it too fast. So it's still, for a rich person, is at an investment level. But also those, I mean, your ordinary person can still get a piece of it too. So as long as you're there for the long term.
Okay. Yeah. And we kind of, especially with the whole crypto community, where people are finally realizing how slow and how much change there is for especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're very costly and it doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. So this brings me into, let's talk about standalone blockchains. One of our favorites we talk about, we'll start with DigiByte because there's been some serious movements, a couple 100%, I believe, in the last few weeks.
Yes.
How is that looking to you? Is there healing going on with the founder, Jared Tate? Is there healing there with relinquishing power?
Well, there is a confidence from the founder. So yes, DigiByte is one of the more positive coins out there. It's just that the confidence, when a founder shows confidence, it allows it to grow. There was confidence before, but it was on and off. It wasn't exactly the healthiest energy from the founder, but the coin itself was healthy. And because the technology is healthy. The technology is very advanced also from what
absolutely
compared to others.
Yeah, there's many use cases, and I hear a lot of cryptos are looking to take it as inspiration. It's almost a benchmark, if you will. So can we talk about the use cases? I hear a lot of talk and chatter about I believe it's DigiID or Autumn ID with a real use case for some European countries. Is that what's going to push DigiByte up in price? Towards 11 cents maybe?
Yes, mostly Europe, yes, because they're getting more confident. Even European corporations are getting more confident of DigiByte also, so yes.
Okay.
One thing we want to tell people is they go into a panic buy of cryptos. They just say, buy 1 million of this one, 1 million. And that's fine, but then when it doesn't grow, then they get upset.
Yeah. It's like patience and belief, and also just know what you're doing as well. Tap into your higher self and really feel if it's right.
Well, it's good to stretch out, to invest in many that you feel comfortable with. It is good. And you learn something with each coin also. Yep.
And thank you for that. And with DigiByte, we're looking at 11 cents as a price we're moving up to. I believe right now we're at even 7 cents. 7 cents. How is that looking for a price? Are we going to be moving towards the dollar mark for DigiByte?
Oh, well, the dollar mark might be more like next year. The time frame is not very clear, but yes, it is going to go up to the price that you believe. Yes, throughout the next couple of months, we see.
Okay, and one of our intuitives in our group had tapped into some potentially Arcturian energy with DigiByte, and said, or maybe Galactic Federation rather. I correct myself. And how true is that? Is there aspects of that technology being brought down through downloads? How did that all work?
Well, there are realities where that type of coin is being used on other worlds. It's not called that, but it's like an alien coin. Of course, a lot of them are like that. Most of them, actually. So it's just that person is connecting to the AI technology to keep it healthy, to keep it so it has a consciousness of its own. So there is a slight Arcturian. There's also there's a lot of galactic federations that use it.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing to know that our brothers and sisters in the Galactic Federation are helping as well, whether it's alternate Earths or our Earth as well. And I really feel a strong energy with Digibyte, but thank you for that.
Yes.
Going on to another project, one that's been really exploding recently, AVAX, Avalanche. How does that, what's that energy looking like to you? Does it have longevity in the project as well?
Yes, it does. But AVAX still, there's a lot of healing it's going through at this time. It's going to be a very slow growth from what we see. But yes, it does have health. It's still getting itself together from what we feel.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of the new kid on the block. That's a real game changer. And but it's had some quick price action. A lot of cryptos have,
Yes.
but we're looking at maybe up to, I believe, $400, $300, I should say. I can feel that might be a bit ambitious. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, ambitious is true. Yes, it might be, but some are trying to push it to that level. Yes, but we don't see it's going to go back.
Yeah, and are you tapping into these coins that are really going to be pivotal to our civilization globally? Things like XRP, Spark, Litecoin, even AVAX. Are they all kind of in that umbrella?
Those and more. Yes, those going to be as more of your companies are going to accept a lot of these different types of coins. They just haven't warmed up to it just yet. But that would be a currency people use for purchases, even food purchases eventually. Bitcoin would probably be the first one, but eventually the other coins will follow.
Yeah, and that brings me to one of my favorites right now, PundiX, which is NPXS. And that's exactly what you said. It's giving people, merchants, that the choice of being paid in different cryptos or stable coins. Can you talk more about that, or what are you tapping?
That's the future, yeah. So yes, right now as investment, the coins are trying to figure out what they are, what their purpose is. It's like an individual. But many, the future coins are going to be most likely directed towards payments. But not yet. They're not quite ready for it yet. But some are going to start advertising themselves. It's like a payment only. I mean, you can invest in it. We can use it to buy things such as food, things like that. Okay. So that's the future.
And is that really getting pushed right now just because of inflation with currencies, or what's going on behind the scenes?
It's just another investment. I mean, that's part of it, but it's another investment form. Yeah. It's just all investments are not really going anywhere. Or a lot of them are actually, but it's just another form of investment.
Awesome.
And it gives people a choice too. Nothing wrong with choice.
Absolutely. And for NPXS, we're looking at, we've had again 300-400% even this year, and is looking to go further. We're looking at $1 target as well for NPXS. How do you feel with its surges coming up? Because there's a lot of announcements.
Yes, at least by the end of the year before. Yes, it's still governing itself. It's still not sure where it wants to go, but people are kind of skeptical of its value. But as soon as more attention gets to it, it will go up. But yes, it's people are watching it. Many are watching it this time.
Yeah, I just their founder was talking about how there'd be a deflationary side of it, burning like 280 million coins or something crazy. So I guess that kind of paves the way with some big announcements with payment providers all across Asia. I think its primary market in like Singapore. Is that really where that surge is going to come? Is it from Asia, that region?
China and that area. China mostly, from what we're seeing. China will be quiet about it, though.
Really, but, as always.
So a lot of China plays a big role in a lot of these inflations that are going on. But they keep it very quiet. They don't advertise it. Yeah,
they never do. And going into XRP. Okay, so XRP, again, a lot of controversy and suppression of energies, which we've talked about before. And there are some interesting behind the scenes sort of updates that they actually XRP and Ripple I should say, tried to settle with the SEC, but they turned it down. Does that hold validity? Is that what you saw?
Yes, I believe yes.
Okay.
It will. XRP is still it's stalling. It will get more. It's going to get. It's only to a maturity process at this time.
Okay.
So not to give up on it.
Yeah, absolutely not. And 22nd, that's like what, just over a week away. That's when they're looking to have some sort of news about where they're going, XRP with the SEC. Do you see something big happening after that day, that announcement?
That's the planned day. It might be more subtle information, but it looks like it's going to be good news, though.
Ooh, nice. Everyone will be happy. Okay, cool.
Subtle. It'll be positive, controversial, but positive at the same time.
Awesome. And how are we looking for finally breaking $1 for XRP?
Probably by the end of the year. End of the year looks good. The God,
okay.
Wishing I would have wind at this time.
No worries. It's getting stormy in Florida. And okay, thanks for that. And a new one on the block, just to talk about the Super Farm, which is a new one, which is a DeFi project. What do you feel with Super Farm? It's about to be released in about 3-4 days.
Yeah, there's a lot of AI technologies with it that's advancing itself greatly. So that's another one that's going to push the cryptos into a new technology.
Wow.
So at least to all these new cryptos, everybody's trying to up their game on technologies and use that as a promotion tool to grow itself.
Yep.
So that's yes, it's going to go up and down in the beginning, but yes, it does have a positive vibration. You're going to see, we see at least 100 cryptos, possibly new ones, to be released throughout the year. Something like that.
Just on that platform, PokerStars,
or just in general.
Oh, in general, yeah.
Yeah, it's just cryptos in general.
Of course, it's become so much easier to create cryptos now. You can even do it on DigiBuy blockchain and all that stuff.
Yes.
And speaking of that, you've led me into something I'm very curious about. I am obviously a filmmaker, and I want to work with the light workers and the star seeds. So how important is this revolutionary model of allowing people to buy into films? Say, for example, a film we're looking to make that will awaken a lot of the world, which is the intention. How big will that become in the next year to 5 years, allowing the average person to have an ownership in a film or a TV series?
Oh yes, that will become more throughout the years. Yes, it will slowly become more of the norm. Yes, that would be the new funding, as you're saying. Yes, yeah. It will take several years for it to catch on. Of course, as long as the person that's funding is going to get something back, as they are right now through crowdfunding. So yes, that most likely would be the new era of filmmaking. One of them at least. The standard will still be around, but the more crowdfunding, it'll just be a little bit cheaper. Even to make films has gotten a little bit cheaper. Of course, if you want to travel and special effects, it's another story. But
that's so true. Yeah, that's very true. And I think it's a nice thing because you have that smart contract that will allow people to feel comfortable and to get paid profits when they do come in for the production. So that's really cool. And I really think it's a beautiful thing because, like we talked about before, a lot of these films and the blockchain, they go hand in hand because there's a lot of, this takes the power away from the agendas of the studios.
Yes.
And, I think it's just amazing. Yeah.
Well, even special effects are going to get more advanced for just your average persons you have.
Yeah.
And everything that you're seeing with the movie theater, the movie studios are doing, you can do at home, but eventually.
Yeah, we've got a green screen. Sure.
It's getting more and more advanced. It's going to get more easier and easier. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, very cool. And going back to Super Farm, I guess that's what's so interesting as well, is it's opening up a whole new realm. Not something I'm fascinated in, but NFTs and making things fungible. So do you have any price predictions for Super Farm in the short term, maybe under a year? What's that look?
Well, it's going to have I don't have exactly a price, but yeah, it's going to be a slow growth until December. December is a peak year for many cryptos. So throughout the year, it's like a building point throughout the year. So,
Okay.
yes.
And any reason why December? Is it just when mass adoption and everyone flocks in? Or is
It's
it
a turning point. It's many that want to do. It's like at the end of before the end of the year, many want to do their investments and things are going to build up from what we're seeing. It's just certain cryptos, not all of them, but quite a few. So
awesome.
So.
Thank you for that. And so there's no price prediction as such with Superfarm?
Not at this time. No.
Okay. Thank you anyway. And how about one of our favorites right now, Dogecoin? I'm sure that that's the talk of the town with XRP, and it's done phenomenally well. So I see that. What are your thoughts on this? As it being actually not a joke anymore, it becomes a very big coin, working with XRP, Litecoin, and a few others.
Well, Doge is going to become more advanced in its technology. It was mostly as a joke, as you probably know. In the beginning, it never going to be taken seriously ever, but now it's being taken more seriously. So the owner is the right person to advance it and to help the crypto communities and do some innovative creativity. That was really what it was about. So, the Doge was just to get attention.
Yeah, it's done the job.
Yeah, there's going to be some interventions, maybe little ones, but enough for others to copy and advance their own. And it might just disappear one day. Right now, it's needed for the moment. The founders not really have a lot of expectations for it, so they're just enjoying the ride while it lasts.
Okay, fair enough. I would do the same. And how are we looking? Our next price prediction is $1 as well. How are you feeling energetically with that?
Yes, it's yes, or $2 or $3. Yes, it will eventually.
We might have to buy Ivan some Doge. Okay, Here we go. I'll do it for him because he's not doing it. But anyway, okay, that's brilliant. Thank you for that. And a couple more before we bring in Osiris. And I really thank you for your time. Could we talk about Reef Finance, which is a DeFi project, one that's really burst onto the scene, working with Polkadot and many other blockchains. How's it feeling?
Yes, well, it is in the mid-health season of it. It's discovering its purpose. Would you see it in the medical field?
Really?
Being used, yes. Or those that are in the medical business already to connect with it. So, yeah, all these cryptos are always going to have like a certain type of field that they're known for. Even for law enforcement, even for that, it's paying them certain to be used for certain reasons, or donations to the law enforcement, things like that.
Right. Okay. So, is there any other intention, any other use case for medical? Just to talk about that first.
Right now, it's medical for this one.
Okay. Is it new technology, new medical technology, or just the industry as a whole?
Just industry in the whole.
Okay. Cool. And positive?
Yes.
Is it going to? Yeah. Fantastic. And what about the police force? Is it just in the U.S.?
Oh, that's just the police force is just for any crypto. That was just a general statement for any crypto to be that way.
Okay,
but this one has a lot of medical energy connected to it.
Fantastic. And what are you feeling? I'm very impressed by their founder, who's quite a young guy. When you tune into his energy, is it benevolent? What sort of intentions and agendas?
Yeah, it's positive energy, still uncertain of its future or where it's an investment from its founder, as you know, and the whereabouts of where it's going to go is still unknown, but they want to achieve it to connect to other technologies for advancement.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, thank you for your time. Blessings. And if we could call in Osiris, that would be brilliant.
Yes, of course. So, blessings. Greetings to you. I'm Osiris. Blessings to you.
Blessings, Osiris. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for connecting.
Always want to connect with you, Osiris. It's good to have you back. Yes. And I just wanted to open up. How are you working with humanity and Earth at this time?
With humanity and their insecurities of really for souls to know what they deserve. know that they deserve more than a lot of people are just going through at this time. They enjoy more respect from each other. It's the little things. Instead of looking at a hierarchy, a celebrity, they look within themselves, which is a difficult one for many to discover. That's what your future of your earth is, more the power of the individual. You're already seeing that, but that power is going to increase more and more over time.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. And are you working with any particular factions, or are you doing very sort of holistic work on the energy field?
Well, yeah, everywhere across the world, all different areas of Mother Earth, keeping the Earth alive, breathing, handling the troubles of humanity to keep her own vibration, because she can even get over her head herself, just like any individual here.
Absolutely. And how so you've helped to talk specifically about that, you've helped suppress some of these earthquakes or natural disasters from Gaia, shouting out almost?
Well, that is her. Yeah, she has control over that. We're just, helping her calm down a lot of that, yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Because humans are going through their own darkness, and they don't know how to get out of that darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was wondering, I'm very interested right now in my meditations, and I'm sure many people watching this are, with trading with Gaia. So we're working with Gaia to work, with, even though we're doing that inner work, sometimes it's good to have that intention to heal Gaia first. How does that work? When I'm tapping in and I'm meditating, I'm trying to work with Gaia and ask her what she needs. And in return, if we do a good job, we can, relinquish or bring back some of our gifts. Is that how you used to work when you were on Earth?
Well, you work on yourself first. Okay. Where you feel like you need to heal, like even asking Gaia for help or angels. You can combine your energies with Gaia also for assistance. So you're helping Gaia also. It's like you're helping each other. So yeah, just knowing that you can combine your vibrations with archangel beings, God, all types of beings that you trust within your energy field.
Okay, interesting. And yeah, I mean, that's what I always want to talk about with people like you, Osiris, and people who had lived in ancient Egypt in the Golden Age. Can you talk to us more about the shadow work as well, which you kind of alluded to? How important is it working with your shadow, the past lives, or your other life shadows as well, and almost going back and healing those? Can you talk more about that?
Well, the family dynamic, many are raised with a certain mentality and don't know how to escape it. So many children are raised as more, the lighter children are coming in and noticing the distress that they're going through. So many parents don't want to recognize their own issues, especially when a child recognizes it. So it's very, they feel like it's an insult almost. It's like, I'm the parent, I know what's best. So it shows there's a lot of healing to be done within the family unit and also the family, line, not just the ancestry. Because many of you have incarnated within your family before in some form or another. Maybe not everyone, but quite a few have. And so some people have actually been their own great-grandfather.
Wow.
So it's recognizing. So shadow work has to do with, yes, your own energy, but also family line also. So you connect to that family line for certain reasons, to see your own darkness or to heal their darkness, wherever it might be.
Yeah.
So just forgiveness is really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. I think it's like what you said at the start, it's tolerance as well. Like, especially, I can safely say I'm very different to the rest of my family, and that black sheep mentality is liberating, but it's also, you have to be very careful with how you do that, especially with the father-son, mother-daughter. Sometimes there's a bit of a, intensity because it's that respect, isn't it?
Yes.
For your elders.
Well, some parents aren't always realizing they do mind control over their own children.
Yep.
And they have so it's the family understanding itself, being mature enough for just sitting, not to say this, we need to lay out all of our difficulties, but I mean, that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
If they're willing to do that, most aren't. But it's to recognize their faults. Of course, everyone has faults, but to heal those faults so you can move forward. So when a child is brought into the family, you know your own difficulties, and that's why you have friends. It's like people aren't always talking to each other. They are, but not really. They're not really opening up to friends, family, especially when you're raising a child.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we're very secretive. It's good to be open because then the child's more open to say what's on their mind, and as long as the parents don't feel bad when the child says something, they're picking up.
Absolutely, especially here in the UK, like a lot of becoming a man, you like bury those emotions as well. Just because we have that stiff upper lip, it's like a World War II mentality, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. It's like those old paradigms. Yeah.
This is technically like a warrior race. Overall, many of you are bringing peace to that war. Your governments are slowly ending their war, slowly, but the war within the family is going to be recognized and healed. And you want peace. You want the government to have their own peace. Of course, there's a lot of difficulties because they have a lot to heal themselves. But the less war out in the world, the more healing you can do within your own family unit. And that's when you have the new earth will truly awaken itself.
Yeah.
So.
And how you, when you're tapping into the collective consciousness, like I know, unfortunately, a lot of the population are almost soulless because they've turned their back on spirituality or just in general, they've been mind controlled. What's the change in the last 2 months since the start of the year? Have you felt progression with that and people opening up and raising their vibration?
Well, one thing with the climate of the planet, of many are losing hope of the old system.
Mm-hmm.
But that helps them look at things differently. So it's a disclosure that's painful but necessary. So they're willing to look at things a little bit differently, even if they're not really seeing the spiritual aspects of it just yet. Because some will. If they're meant to see it, they will. If they're part of them needs it for their own growth, they will quiet a lot of their anger. And because the world, the way it's programmed at this time, yes, humanity keeps a lot out, like spirit energies, angels, miracles that are seen. Humanity has been taught to shut it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're here at a time of the reawakening the soul, and just having an open earth altogether.
Absolutely. And talking about that too, is it a true statement to say that the matrix, that construct, that archonic construct or reptilian one, whichever way you look at it, has that fallen? Is that truly fallen?
Well, you see it being more understood for humans not to fall into its patterns anymore. The old patterns, to create new patterns, new timelines. So they don't have to be part under those controls completely, because there's so many that are under it, but you don't have to be under it anymore. So it's like letting the world work for you, you can say.
Okay. And that's good to know. That's kind of a new interpretation, a new perspective, I should say. Could you talk to us more about, there's this amazing woman I look up to in Australia. A lot of people have really been fascinated in her astral projection and her remote viewing. And she actually went to Antarctica and saw how they had almost some demonic beings and some negative reptilian beings and Dracos had weaponized your energy with your twin flame Isis. Is that how they kept that sort of power structure going with the Matrix? Is that true?
It goes much further than that.
Oh wow! Okay,
well, they got humans to be afraid of Osiris energy, fearful of death, to create a hell for humanity. Even if they make hell here. So they create a underworld where they can trap souls. So use my energy, that's what that was called, but they use my vibration to put in fear of God into humanity. So they want to, so they can trap souls here, basically. They create different belief systems throughout religions.
Okay. And did that happen after your passing in Egypt? How did that work?
It was more during the beginning of my exit, where I didn't have the energy enough to defend myself anymore. Because even I didn't died on Earth, basically.
Wow. And can you tell us more about your energy, like in similarity to maybe Yeshua? You know, two amazing beings we look up to, and we want to aspire to have that sort of mastery, if you will. Can you tell us more about your origins and compare it to, say, you and Isis, to Yeshua and Mary Magdalene?
Well, my energy here was to be like a golden light to be brought to humanity, for its highest potential. Where can the human grow? Like, open up the chakras even further. Where there was peacetime during Egypt's time period, before the cataclysms, even after to a certain degree. But where we were seen as gods instead of friends, we were seen as part of society, and then we were seen as gods with worship. That's where all the stories got twisted around after the cataclysms, which there were actually several. Wasn't just one.
Yeah, you can tell from the Sphinx, right, with the weathering. Yes. Okay.
The pyramids were protected, but they didn't have the enough because the Earth still needed their energies for disclosure and much more. It brings out a new energies to the Earth. Different aspects of it, of course.
So would you say you're from like the Logos, kind of like Yeshua, or were you from a particular system?
You can say I come from there also. Yes, I mean I come from Orion, but yes, it did come from that system also. My energy is connected there also.
Amazing. Okay, and was that your first incarnation, ancient Egypt, or had you started in Atlantean times?
Mostly Atlantean times, but my teachings became more understood over time.
Did you and I ever know each other in ancient Egypt or Atlantis?
Mostly Atlantis, yes.
Oh wow! How about that?
Did you see a very tall being? That was me. Of course, there's many tall beings. Well, basically, we're sharing the fundamentals of our own star system with Atlantis, our own teachings, and that led to the pyramid, to Egypt, where a lot of our teachings were actually in Atlantis itself, but then brought to Egypt, as they had their own growth. So it just Egypt survived, Atlantis not.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were about 20 feet tall. Is that an exaggeration?
Not really. Well, I wasn't that tall during that time, but
okay.
A lot of days it's not that important.
And what was our, how did we meet? Can you paint the scene for us? Just because I'm sure everyone will be interested.
My teachings.
It was
sharing about the star system's journeys I've been to. It's kind of like a galactic seminar, but wasn't your typical. Basically, just like landed on Earth and greeted the Atlanteans, connected, and then started to speak of where we came from.
Wow.
Myself and Isis, yes. We just started to share our world that we come from. And it was not like you have here like a meet, but there was a gathering there.
Wow. God, yeah. Could you tell us more about it? Was it literally just like you landing in the ship, or did you teleport? How did that work, coming to Atlantis?
It was a ship landing. Yeah. It was basically you teleport out of the ship to the people, but it was, basically I brought a lot of holographic energies with myself also, telekinesis abilities, and people can see this, as I spoke about, you can see the star systems around me what I was speaking of. People can also visualize, of course, through my energy.
Yeah.
So it's like you bring your universe with you, basically, or bring your star system with you.
That must have been the best lecture ever.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and just others were realizing their origins from the same place I come from, and just because not even Atlanteans ever remembered all their lifetimes, but and when Atlanteans were starting to forget things, a lot of us beings appeared to help them remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the challenges of this world were unlike anything else.
Amazing. So that was the first time we met, just to So I'm just very interested.
Yes, during a galactic lecture, you could say yes.
I bet my jaw was on the floor. I was like, what? That's amazing.
Yes, what is that thing?
This is amazing. Okay, cool.
Usually, the more the stranger, the better. Yeah, this. A lot of the strangest beings in the universe, as you know, with the hieroglyphs. Yes.
Amazing. Okay, cool. And thank you for that. And could you tell us more about some stuff in ancient Egypt that is related to the present day? And specifically, there's been a lot of hype, a lot of talk, I should say, not hype, about med beds. And I know in ancient Egypt, one of my friends was channeling Thoth, and there were kind of these sarcophagus which would heal people through electrical charge, almost like the Tesla coil. Could you talk more about that?
Well, a lot of the temples were healing temples. Egypt itself was a fountain of youth, as you would call it, just being there. But as Egypt was losing its power, yes, more of like the med beds became more, like a coffin. So another reason why they have the coffin to live forever, it was like, the med bed. It wasn't a coffin, but that was their way of looking at it, to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a med bed of that time, you lay in and you get rejuvenation. So of course they're going to take your mummies and put in something similar to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them did have faces on them also. They could close you up in it, but it was not a coffin though.
Yeah, it looked like there was limited air. And what is it? Is it granite? What sort of stone?
Yes, granite. Granite is one of them. Moldavite also.
And where does that charge come from? It's obviously it's in the pyramid, right? Does that come through the ionosphere, or is it something you created?
It comes from the earth itself. Yes, it comes from the ground. It comes from the skies.
Wow. Okay. Cool. That's amazing. Oh, that's really cool. And I guess it heals you on a cellular level. Is that right? Is it like an anti-aging or okay? And so is that similar to Tesla, where he found out if you basically zapped a cancerous cell or a negative cell with the polar opposite charge? Is that how basically in layman's terms it works?
Yes, okay. Very similar to that, yes. But we use crystals. But yes.
Okay.
Use crystals around it. Yes, use crystals around the bed itself. You can lay on a crystal bed also. The crystals are brings the charge and rejuvenates you instantly.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. That's really interesting. And wow, that's blown my mind. And with the Ankh as well, I've been told, that there's some information in there with the Ankh, when you're charging yourself, it's almost like you have your arms. If you picture the Ankh as well, that your arms are up and it's charging your auric sphere in a way, your aura. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that? How is that similar to what Tesla engineered in the picture?
Well, he got depictions of it. It wasn't exactly how it would work. I mean, he himself is an ancient Egyptian himself. That's very much a part of the development of these technologies. Just couldn't quite remember it in the modern age. It tells you even a Akashic record connection, you only get so much in this modern world. But he did quite a bit. But yes, he did give you a hint of how it worked, yes. A lot of the energies went through the pyramids itself into the temples. The pyramids basically siphoning vibrations from the universe, basically.
Wow. And how did you work with that in Orion? How did you figure that out? Was it ancient builder race? Well,
we used the mountains. Well, we were taught to understand nature. The mountains were where we got rejuvenated in ancient past. Then we built structures so we can take the structure anywhere we go. We can build them ourselves. It took a long time to discover that and how to use it for positive or how to misuse it. A lot of it got misused, of course. Depending on what, when it can heal, it can do other things too. As you know, it can be a healing energy, but also used as a weapon, as many realize, essentially.
Of course.
The main point was to make it a healing vibration. The reasons why the med beds were removed from the earth, yet it just didn't have the energy that they once did anymore. They cannot exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The vibrations got lower and lower on the earth, and they were being misused for longevity purposes, and just it wasn't given to the people anymore. It's only a chosen few.
And could we do that right now? Could we make that technology with the grid right now, or is that being manipulated?
No, it can be if you have a lot of time on your hands. A lot of technology. You can figure it out. Yes, you just need a while. It can take like at least 10 years to develop something like that.
10 years. Oh, wow. Okay. And speaking of that, I'm sure a lot of people who follow the SSP stuff, is there going to be med beds this year for people who maybe take the vaccine or who are just ill in general?
Well, some in astral can get healed from the vaccine, yes.
Okay.
Possibility of that. But as for being brought here physically, it's not likely, but there's it's not likely from what I can see.
Right. Yeah, my thoughts exactly too. And I guess there's also the possibility of taking people into a ship if they may be in sleep state. Okay.
Right. Yes, that happens. So those that have to take the vaccine and really want nothing to do with it, comply with the human rules, most likely they'll be helped in some form or another. If they truly need it. Some can heal it themselves and some need assistance, which is nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I'm just interested to know what your thoughts are with everything happening in February and March. Are there any big temporal markers that are going to shift what goes on? How are the timelines looking for you?
Well, you see a lot of governmental fraud being seen more clearly by the people.
Yes.
Slowly. So February it's already showing itself. In the next few months, it's going to show up more and more. Where people is like, man, this just isn't what we signed up for. So a lot of fraud will be slowly being revealed. And it's a slow process, so just concentrate on yourself at this time. So, yeah, the fraud that was bringing in illegitimate elections or results are going to slowly show its cracks throughout the year, actually.
Okay. And are those scandals, I presume they're about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden? Yeah.
That and other things, yes. Even the tech companies is going to start showing their skeletons in their closet also. But they can't hide everything. Yeah, they're going to, because they, like a person that gets spoiled, can become complacent, and when they don't get what they want, act like a child, as some of them are.
They're the worst.
Without mentioning names.
Yeah, I mean, we know who they are, but I was literally about to name one, but maybe that's too much.
Right now with censorship everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I doubt they'll censor my little channel. Talking about that as well, do you see a shift where we can actually communicate without the mainstream media and all that stuff as well? Are there going to be ways of people actually seeing this truth? Because I know we've kind of lost that whole idea of everyone seeing it on their TV set and stuff. Yeah.
We've seen in the next 10 years, your cable news media seeing a reckoning, meaning seeing their own empire folding right in front of them. You're already seeing it now, little bits of it, but see it more going to strengthen throughout the coming years. So the internet's just going to become stronger, independent voices. Now you have all these different social medias that are being invented because of what happened. So, yeah, they're just not going to be able to no one's going to, especially new generations of people are coming in. They're not going to trust the mainstream anymore. It's going to become less and less like the newspapers. Eventually, the newspapers are going to fade out, as they already are, but not just yet. Still enough people to hold on to it, just for now.
Yeah, that's amazing. It just needs to happen, and there's some amazing people on YouTube or whatever who are citizen journalists, remote viewers, mystics. It should go back to the old days of having oracles and elders. Yeah,
exactly. That's what. Yes. Now the oracles, maybe not always seeing everything correct, but that it still means that they're going to still become more of a powerful energy here.
That's true.
It's hard to read the energies of this planet because there's so much low vibrations. It's under attack, so it's hard to get everything 100% accurate. But as more oracles, more of the metaphysics get stronger, get beliefs in themselves, these beings won't have the strength as they used to. That's when the aliens start to break free of your reality. More people are realizing that they're here, and then people will start seeing them more often.
Yeah, and is that why some people in the group are talking about outages and power cuts in Oregon and the west coast of the US and even Australia? Is that because the veil is so thin? We almost have these beings coming up to the surface or being hunted? Wow. Okay. Can you talk more about that? Or
well, some beings have no idea of their power. They don't realize they're beings, especially the plasma beings when they're connected to humanity. So the plasma vibrations are getting stronger and stronger because they're opening up gateways for other beings to come in. So the plasma form as some formations I've been seeing every now and then. They're just preparing the earth for what's to come.
Okay. So. Yep. Right. And the plasma beings are what exactly? Are you talking about beings manipulating the almost like the travel structure, like the cosmic web, or are you talking about actual beings?
No, they're actually beings that are manipulating reality itself, your matrix you have here. So
is that from the Inner Earth wizards or anyone like that?
No, it's a little bit of both. It's alien, mostly.
Okay. Right. Nice. And have they? I hear they're negotiating with some of our Lionheart leaders, like Donald Trump and General Flynn and others. Is that true? That they're actually negotiating? And
on an astral level, yes.
On an astral level. Okay. Yes. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Sounds like it's going to be a good February, March, for people. But of course, not to expect too much.
Yeah, it's a little awakenings, little by little. Yeah, as the Earth begins to shift, as a major shift totally comes in when you have a whole new environment altogether.
And is that major shift happening after that, like mid to end of this year? What's it roughly?
Well, you just say it's throughout the year. They don't give anything up at this time.
Are those the Earth guides that you're talking to?
Yes, it's just Earth's timeline. Well, many people are not ready for a major shift just yet. Mm-hmm. So majority of people are still trying to figure out what to do with themselves financially or still in the third dimensional paradigm. So the many of you that are opening up more to spiritual vibrations, the energies are getting stronger here.
Okay. And I'm very curious, do you have any fractals or any aspects, twin selves that are here incarnate on Earth?
Within actually some of the religions to heal some of the religions, yeah.
Like the Catholic Church or anything?
Like a positive priest, yes.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah. How's that going? Are you almost the higher self for that, human being? Or?
Yes, keep them through. Yes, it's like living in a bed of nails.
Well, respect. That must be hard. Yeah.
Is to keep your sanity in a group that's completely corrupt.
Is he or she aware of you, or
no? No, on an astral level.
Okay.
I just know that they're doing good in the world. That's all that matters.
That's great, and that's what's needed, especially with the priesthood. Any religion, and yeah. And where do you see Christianity going? Do you see almost I guess you could say a revelation, to use lack of a better term, for the truth about really what Yeshua's story was, and as well as many other people in that time?
Well, you see a lot of the New Age groups discovering all of this alien viewpoints first, and then eventually the Catholics will see it over time. Wow. So the New Agers want to. It's like, this isn't in the Bible. What are you guys talking about? So
I'm all for anything, taking away the Constantine, King James IV, whatever, censored, manipulated BS, that they came up with. Anything to shake it.
King James was like a big brother of himself, like a thought being to tell people what to think.
Wow.
So that was a version of it during that time.
Okay. Nice. And is there anything that's on your mind that you would like to share with us for anyone watching this broadcast? Anything that will help us?
Well, yes, humans are going through a crystallization of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always easy. So just trusting your inner self. Agartha is working through many people that are Agarthian people, just are always recognizing they have within themselves. So there's just some people that look like fairies and elf people. They even have the features, just not always seeing it. And as they embrace that power, they get deeper into themselves, which is a positive vibration. It shows that Agarthian people can be really pushy, which is a good.
Yep.
You want that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're adorable and they're also just fiery. I love it. And I was in Avalon recently, and you definitely feel that change. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yes, especially there.
Especially there. Bring the dragons. Bring them
strong. Yes, that's a strong energy, of course, of just the truth of the real Earth, the real world. Your dragon people, your Garthian people. They've always been here. They never really disappeared. They just kind of went and not really talked about, but they've never left ever. Never will either.
That's great. And speaking of that as well, how much of I guess you could say an interest is there with going to these sacred sites, places? I mean, think of Africa as well. Of course, people know about Egypt, but there's so much there. That has so many light codes and new tribes. Which we've talked about before. Is there other places on Earth we should focus our energy on? For pilgrimages or just awareness.
Well, first off, as you know, just put this out there, that why the wealthy is so interested in Africa to keep it unstable.
Yeah.
Certain individuals, not naming, they keep it unstable, so nobody wants to go there for many reasons. To make it, it has malaria there. It's just, if you come here, you're going to get malaria or some. Yeah, they're keeping it a vicious country, but that will change. Easter Island, Chile, South America, even South Africa, if you can manage that. Australia, even with all its lockdowns. Norway's a positive place also. Greenland, if you can even find a way to get there. Greenland's, if you really want to connect, Greenland is definitely one place to go.
Oh, wow. I would love to. And it's such a huge landmass, and there's so many hidden things in there, right? Like giant beings and all sorts.
Yeah, you just go there, be there for a week probably, or if you can be there a long time, you'll start seeing things that nobody here, especially when you're open to your spiritual ability, it'll help you open yourself up even more, for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. Greenland is on the to-do list. And now we're talking about, you're 100% right with Africa and making it unstable and, with manipulating, whether it be China or many other elite energies. And I really think it's just got so much to give. And I feel this age, kind of like what you and Isis led people into with the golden age, was just that egalitarianism of reclaiming your sovereignty, and I think Africa is one of the primary areas that needs that, because they're such amazing people.
There's just so many secrets that they do not want anyone to find. The people there are normally friendly, but of course, after the manipulations they've been through, obviously they're always the welcome to settlers. But yes, it's not exactly the safest place, depending on where you are. But it's a place of another growth similar to Greenland, of course. Like around the desert areas, like the Sahara, if you can find a place there where you can be there for some, it's similar to Greenland because they'll open you up to other energies.
Wow. Okay, cool. That sounds great. And trying to think anything. Oh yeah, this is something that I really wanted to speak to you about. Could you give us a brief lesson on the Merkaba and transporting yourself in meditation or protecting yourself in the Merkaba? Is that something you're familiar with?
Yes, it's being there where you want to be. It's traveling, yes, through your mind to places where you feel the most angelic energies, your most positive self. Obviously, those words. Of words are basically where all your fears and troubles are clear, and it's like you're like an inner heaven, basically. And it connects to that vibration of just allowing yourself to take the form that you feel that you're naturally connected to, whatever that might be. And it's releasing the negativity of this earth.
Right. And is it all to do with visualization, or is it feeling and really immersing yourself in that ideal world?
You can visualize it if you can, or just feel it. Just your intentions of you just feel the energy of it. That's all that matters.
Okay, brilliant. And is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Because we really appreciate you coming to visit us. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
Understand the higher self as it's not always going to come through clearly at all times, but many of you have much energy of the future, knowledge of it that is not being revealed. So you just got to trust your instincts of where you're going. There's a lot of answers, yes. Sometimes when the answers need to be coming, life change comes with it. So if you want to change in your life, prepare if you're ready for a life change, such as family members having difficulty with that you're close to, that you need to get away from, or whatever it might be, or a new job, looking for answers. Like, I need answers, and all of a sudden you're not at that job anymore. Now you found somewhere else to go. Life change with us is very necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. And any tips on how to anchor more of your higher self's light? Is there anything there? Working out, obviously meditation, diet. Is there anything that springs to mind?
Trusting oneself, trusting that you are where you need to be, even if you feel like you could be somewhere else. Just allow, just patience, basically. Basically, that's what your most higher selves would probably say. It's like, you know, you want to be on top of a mountain right now.
Yeah, it's patience.
Somewhere.
It's always patience, isn't it?
It's always going to be that way in a world like this. Only because it took advantage of it misused a lot of its powers, in the past. So you have to learn the hard lessons with those of the past and not learn. Some people find patience as a beautiful thing. Such the outcome is just wonderful. So
it makes
visualize, what you want.
It really makes you feel gratitude towards it, and it makes it, you see, it's like putting in that incremental work, isn't it? And just watching that, enjoying that journey and seeing and having that. Otherwise, if things came too quick, which I'm sure you've experienced in other planes, it's a totally different, energy, isn't it?
Yes, on this world, well, you have so many different alien species here. You're learning from them. Some of them can be very impatient, like the cheetah.
Yeah.
Can be impatient. So used to getting somewhere very fast.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love cheetahs. And are there any animals that you're connected to in Africa right now?
Oh, yes, all of them. Elephant, even the bear. The bear isn't always in Africa, but there are the bear energy. The bears just want to hug people.
Yeah, I know. I've had experience with bears, and they chased me, but I wanted to hug them.
Exactly.
Dangerous game.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Osiris. And I would like to just invite you in to visit me anytime and visit any of this group, that will be watching this. We are definitely a soul family, and we resonate a lot with ancient Egypt and you and Isis. Yes. So feel free to come visit us in meditation.
Of course. Blessings to all.
Blessings, guys.